Hey guys, this is Lola.
Hi, this is Foye.
Hi, this is Velisa, and welcome to the Everybody Hates HR pod.
Episode 1, baby. So basically, I guess we're going to describe what we are, who we are, what we're doing. We are essentially 3 young professionals who all work in HR, and I guess we just want to
Share some knowledge.
Drop some gems.
Wisdom, guidance,
Humour.
a little bit of everything.
I think when we initially started talking about it, we were saying there's a lot of nonsense HR advice out there. And so we was like, I mean, we have some knowledge to contribute to the space, so it'll be good to share that and put a bit more of a human face to HR, because when people think about HR, I don't think they think about people like us.
They don't. A contemporary feel.
Contemporary.
You like that?
Give them grammar.
Yeah, because I guess the image for HR is what? Like
old white women.
Basically. Yeah, old white woman.
Did you say basic?
No, well, that
basically, basically.
Basic tea.
But yeah, we bring some seasoning to the HR industry.
We do.
So excited about that.
I am. How's you guys' week been?
Mine's been really, I was going to say dead, but actually the week was dead. The weekend was okay. I went to a bridal shower.
That's cute.
I'm going to be a bridesmaid next month. And I went to a pottery class, which I had a lot of fun doing.
I saw your Instagram story. She was like,
Was it
I think
good?
I did really well. When I asked
you
her
make?
what's this supposed, she doesn't know.
I don't know. It was a pot.
Okay.
It looks good.
Are you going to use it?
No.
Why not?
For what? Would you?
Maybe.
You could put some marbles or something in it. Or what do people do now for decoration?
Jewelry, maybe.
Oh, that's a good one.
I'm not going to lie, though. When I took it home, it looks like something a 4-year-old does at school. You know, when you show your mum, you're like, look. And you're like, what's that? But, yeah. How about you guys?
I was in Dubai.
I was just going to say, I feel like Lola had the most exciting week.
I was in
Living
Dubai.
it
I had a
up.
great time.
Living
I
it
literally, my voice is a bit scratchy now. I think you guys can hear it, right? So I did so much stuff. I left on Wednesday night. And I flew back literally this morning, dropped my suitcase at my mum, had a quick horse bath.
How are you functioning?
And I went to work. So I was there for 4 solid days, morning to night. I was there the whole of Thursday, whole of Friday, whole of Saturday, whole of Sunday. Then flew at 2 a.m. and then landed local time, landed here. And I had the absolute best time. I went to the desert, we went out, we ate lots of food. My friend did a skydive, she's a mad person. But everything. And yesterday I went to Atlantis, the theme park. And there's one ride, whoever made it is a sadist. You basically it's you're sort of 180 degrees, but maybe you're a little bit this way. You have to lie back, cross your chest, and cross your arms across your chest. You cross your feet, and then you're in this container. It looks like a coffin. Just closes, and they go 3, 2, 1, and the bottom just comes out from underneath you, and you just drop down.
No, thank you.
It was mad. And when I saw my friend did it first, I was like, you did a skydive. You can't be saying you're scared now.
That's true.
You literally jumped out of a plane.
That's true.
So she did it first, and when I saw her, I was like, can never beat me.
But
And then they convinced me somehow.
And
you did it.
Yeah, but I regret it. Listen to my voice. I literally, when I came out, I was screaming. I opened my mouth screaming.
Was it in water?
Yeah, it's a water park.
Oh, you went
sorry,
to the water
yeah.
park.
So it's a
Okay,
water
okay.
park. It's a water park, and so
Girl, where is she landed if there's no water at the bottom?
yeah, no, it's a water
so
park.
true.
And I was just I was screaming, had all the water in my mouth, it was mad, but it was good. That's why I sound like this. I was
Sign of a good
like a
time.
young person
But Lola, did you shake your ass
on a yacht.
in a song?
Do you know what? Yeah, I didn't go on a yacht. When I went to the club, the DJ I told you was doing too much. One of those international type DJs, I think they're really cool, mixing Amapiano with also with Afro beats, then hip hop, then your mumble rap. It's all just all over the place. And one of the, because it was in Dubai, right? One of the things, the clips he played was that Nella Rose thing.
Oh, did he?
I've suffered for 19 years. I deserve to shake my ass on a yacht. He just kept playing it over and over again. The first.
I hope she's
in a
getting
row.
coins.
You
for
know?
all of this.
Yeah, no, Nella, if you're
I hope
listening,
you're getting
they're using
coins.
your name and your voice
In Dubai.
to make money. No, but yeah, no, I didn't get to shake my ass on. Next time.
There's always a next time.
That's good.
And you?
I've just been being a mum.
Aww.
That's all whenever someone asks me what, do you know what? That's not true, because I didn't even have my child this weekend. So
Where was your child,
I haven't
please?
been being a mum. He was with my mum.
No, but it's the fact that she had it. I was just being a mum.
No, but for the rest of the week, innit?
Yeah, for the rest of the weekend. But actually, this weekend he was not with me from Friday, so we were getting some plastering done in the house.
I really thought he was going to say something really exciting.
Yeah,
your
no,
baby's away and you're plastering.
I went out with my friend on Friday. Went to Fat Crab. I really love seafood, so
I'm not a big seafood
Where
fan.
is it?
like I don't know if you guys saw my story and I was dancing in my bib because
I did.
Yeah, I was
That's
ready
that
for
happy
that.
dance before food comes.
Alaskan king crab was landed on my lap. I was ready with the tools to.
That's what I don't like
try
about
that.
seafood. It's too much admin.
It
What
is.
admin?
I love
admin
it.
When I don't want admin when it comes to my food. Oh yeah, open the crab for
then
me
when
or
you get-
I'm not eating it.
But then when it comes out, you get a whole one. You're like, it's satisfying.
Satisfaction, yeah.
But when it doesn't, you get a piece. You feel like you paid big money to be eating
true.
dribbles of crab.
It's true. It's true. That's why you
When
gotta
the
get
crab
king.
breaks and you have to start.
Scraping.
Yeah.
But what else has been happening this week? What's been in the news? Like HR stuff.
HR wise, I was on LinkedIn and I saw this guy put a post out on something to do with how to negotiate salaries in the workplace. And it literally stemmed from him just basically going on about the economy, how it's really tight at the moment. And we've got a culture of we negotiate everything else that we do. If you're going to buy a house, if you're renting, just in your life, you literally negotiate everything. But when it comes to salaries, people freeze up. So I thought it'd be a good topic to talk about, actually, about how to negotiate.
I think part of that actually is because when we do stuff like other sorts of negotiations, they're really with strangers. Buying a house, you negotiate the person, you'll never even see their face. Even when you go to get a car, once you leave this place, like you're not going to have to see this person. You're not like, you don't feel like you're necessarily taking from them or anything. But when it comes to salaries, sometimes people think that they'll look like a knob or something if they ask for too much money, or they'll look ungrateful and stuff like that. Me personally, I could never feel grateful for a job. I told you, right?
You said this
I could
before.
never, like back in when I graduated and stuff, and I was like, I felt so grateful for the opportunities I had, and they've been good opportunities, don't get me wrong, but now, listen, you pay me for a reason. I can't feel grateful.
It's true.
So if it comes to it, I'm gonna ask for as much money as I can get now. And I've suffered for it in the past. Like there's times when I knew I could have negotiated better, and like I didn't. And they just, when you ask for something and they agree too quickly, you think,
I should have done more.
Now my rules for everybody,
Yeah.
add 10.
It's true.
At a minimum, add 10.
It's true.
I don't even care what number you start, add 10.
It's true.
Do you have the confidence when you're negotiating salaries?
Now I do. My biggest regret was not asking for a sign-on bonus.
Okay.
Now that you know what
Now
is
I
possible.
know the pain I felt when I knew that the one company I should have asked, I didn't ask. The companies I shouldn't have asked. They're the ones that I asked.
No, that's the important thing about negotiating
Yeah.
salaries. Like you need to know exactly where you are and what the situation is. So when people come in, like some companies are cash rich,
Yeah.
and
very
they're really
true.
willing to, like try
Retain
and
you.
retain
Yeah.
employees. But some companies are poor, and if it means that they have to go back out to market and do their own, recruitment because they ain't gonna pay a recruiter because they're that poor. Like that's what they'll do,
it.
and then
I've worked and been that recruiter.
yeah, they're gonna give you $2,000 if you ask them for a pay rise. They'll offer you,
PTSD.
they'll give you $2,000 and that's it.
It's true.
But other companies will be like, oh, you really want to retain, give you 10.
Yeah.
Especially right now in this market, like I've never been a fan of like job hopping for no reason. I don't think people should. But in this market, like there's so many reasons that you should be looking for more money. Number one, the economy.
It's tight.
Very tight.
Hey,
Even
listen,
what's that guy's name that gives
Yeah.
financial talk?
Martin Lewis.
Do you
Yeah.
see what he said?
What did he say?
He said, "I have no
said,
more
"I can't
advice
help
to
you."
give you."
Is that what he
Like,
said?
Yeah, he said, I haven't got the
I'm
tools.
lying.
like,
He said nothing.
Yeah, he's done.
He said I'm strapped.
Yeah.
it's above me. Like he said
It's
last
above
time,
me.
it's above me now.
Yeah.
Like he has no more tools to help you.
Is that what he said?
Yeah.
The economy's that tight.
He said just have to hope and pray.
Vibes.
He said this is like basically poverty. Like he doesn't have the tools to help us anymore.
Wow.
Exactly.
Martin said cash is king.
Yeah.
Go get your money.
Yeah.
So let's help these people negotiate because it's actually so long.
So in terms of
so
tips
long.
for negotiation, I would say you have to think about who you're speaking to, and generally, no one wants to feel like they're being backed into a corner, because even if you're speaking to employers, you're always speaking to people. People have egos, people have pride. And so when you start saying, if you don't do this, I'm going to do this, you've already lost more time. Like, so you have to do it in a way where no one wants an employee who is not invested in the company. So the first thing I would always say is, when you're having those discussions, tell them that you really want to stay. Even say like you understand the market and you know that you could be getting more money, but you really want to stay in this company for X, Y, and Z reason. That I've really been developed here. I really like the team. The work we do is really good. I can see the vision. Like, I believe in the journey. Like, all of those things. And then just explain to them that you need to put yourself forward. You need to put yourself first financially, and then also come to the table with a number that's reasonable and it has been researched. Yeah, like,
not just a number that you need to pay your bills, basically.
Yeah, exactly. I just, that's one of my pet peeves. Now it's a bit different, but in the past I've always hated where people come and say, I want a pay rise because, I don't know, I'm having a baby or I'm buying a house. It's like, your circumstance can't dictate how much money we pay you, because then you end up paying mums more money than other people, or you end up paying homeowners or people that have kids or people that have caring responsibility. You can't do that. It's not fair.
It's true, and I'm going to say but and play devil's advocate. And the only reason I'm going to do that is because you work because of these things. You work because, okay, I want to get a house. In terms of how much the bank's going to lend me, I need to be on this salary, otherwise I'm not going to be able to afford this house. So it's kind of like you need to find a balance, I think.
The money you want should be based on what you need, So obviously you're saying, I need 45 or 50 grand to live and do all the things that I want to do. Therefore, I want to ask my employer for 45 to 50 grand. But if you're doing 35 grand worth of work, then
don't try it.
You can try it. True. Just know that you might fail. That's it. True. Like, closed mouths don't get fed. I always say, especially in this market, like recruitment, especially, there's recruiters out there, because the market is so tight for recruiters, especially tech recruiters. There's recruiters out there who are 25 to 30k recruiters that certain companies, no names, are paying 50, 60 bags because the market is so tight and everybody needs to recruit engineers. Yeah.
The recruiters and talent acquisition, the jobs, there's so many jobs for them right now. Like, easy, you can move if you want to.
Easy. I wish I liked it.
Same. I don't
like it. That's how I'm making money at the moment. I made a placement today.
Ooh, congratulations.
12 racks.
Okay.
Lola's taking us out.
I'm taking you nowhere. I'm trying to convert my loft.
Where we about to eat it?
Listen, we all going to Mickey D's. We go to McDonald's.
Fat crab?
Yeah, let's go Fat Crab.
I don't know. It's like a struggle with my food. I'm trying to celebrate. I want to actually eat. Hakkasan? You people are mad.
But do you know what else actually that I feel people don't look at enough, because I've started looking at it more, is your total reward. I feel like a lot of people like dismiss their bonus and things like that. They don't. So true. Yeah, they don't include it when they look at, okay, if I want this much money, how much am I truly getting or likely to get? Because for me, I find it really hard to, not that I'm looking if anyone from work is listening, but I find it really, wink, wink. I find it really hard to look at other jobs and think, okay, they're offering me what I need. And it's not the salary that I'm looking at. It's the bonus percentage. It's the pension contribution. It's, it's things like that. It's childcare vouchers now for me, like things like that. Like, where can I go where all of that is included and it makes sense?
It's so true. And that's one of the other things when it comes to negotiating. Sometimes, like, salary bands are fixed, and so sometimes you can't get any more there, but you can also think to ask about what other benefits you can get, what they can do from a bonus perspective, like, and you definitely shouldn't overlook those things. And when you're negotiating, one of my pet peeves when I'm talking to candidates is like they're negotiating with you and then literally negotiating on base alone. So they're like, in my current company, like, let's say we do a 20% bonus, or 25% bonus, which is decent. We're doing a 25% bonus and your current company gives you nothing, and you're saying, my current company's going to offer me this, and you're trying to get an extra 5k, when actually you're looking at an extra 20k or 30k on top. Like, it's crazy. And then you end, like, if they do it like that because they don't feel like their bonus is like certain, you could end up worse off. You'll be moving again.
It's true.
And also I think we've spoken about it before, when people are like fighting for an extra 5k, but then after the tax
like extra
How much are you actually
£50
getting?
a
What's the
month.
difference?
We discussed it.
Yeah.
We discussed it before. Like,
Yeah.
you just have to think about what's important to you.
Is it worth it?
Yeah, exactly. Like, for instance, if there's one company that's going to offer you 45, one company's going to offer you 47, and the one that's going to offer you 45 is going to pay for your CIPD or something like that. Like, it's not, by the time you get your £120 a month or whatever it is, if that.
It's not even that.
Yeah, when time you get your £80 a month, it's not going to make any difference.
It's
So
true.
doing those pre-post tax calculations
Yeah.
and that pension one, I'm telling you, is so important.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm a big, like, I feel like a lot of young people, or I don't know, what do we call it? Do we call us young people now?
I'm young.
I'm young.
Oh,
Lola,
sorry,
don't do that.
I'm young.
Sorry. But when I be young people, I mean, like, let's say 20s, early 30s, yeah, I will say young people, young adults.
Now people are going to think we're in our 40s. Like, what are you doing?
I'm 31.
So
But
am
I
I.
look like
29.
The baby.
I still feel old though.
so. What else?
It's 2 years.
I got ID'd the other day.
Did
I was
you?
fine. Yeah, I was going to my friends and I got a bottle of Hennessy. And they said, can they ID me? And then they said, I look really
Look
good.
at her feeling
Yeah,
good.
no,
I got
ID.
ID'd.
I'm just saying that this is it. But yeah, so a lot of people don't care about pension, and pension is like the best kind of free money you can get. And I know obviously like you can't take it out till 55, so you know, a bird in the hand, you know, people would rather
Is it
take less.
55?
Yeah, 55, take out your pension. But listen, when I was at like one company, they'll put in like 15% if I put like 6 or something. So each
really?
month I was getting like 21% into my
Oh, that's very good.
into my pension. Like, imagine 21% of what you earn is going into your pension each month.
Yeah.
And it's like, but I don't.
People
I've watched too
don't
many
think about
panorama
it.
documentaries about all these old people that can't afford to heat their homes. So there's no heat or eat. I don't want to be one of those people. I want
Yeah.
heating and food.
But I feel like the world we live in now is all about short-term gratification. So people find it really hard to think, okay, well, this is for my future when I'm old and grey.
Yeah.
But they want the money now. Like when I was working at the first company I ever worked at, so many young people would opt out. You know, when they brought in the mandatory opt-in, they would always come back like a month later and say, take me out.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, I was one of those people.
Same.
I opted out up until, I'm not gonna lie, I only started contributing to my pension maybe a year or two ago. Prior to that, I was always opting out, and the reason being is because I'm just like, I can use that money to do other things and not necessarily spend it on other things, but invest in other things, like my side hustle and all this kind of stuff. And it's only now that I'm at a stage where I'm like, to be fair, I'll treat my pension as another source of income for that age now, when I get to that age. So that's why I'm investing in it now. But prior to that, I didn't see it as a pot. And I think also you get caught in a trap of, like you're going to be good. You don't need a pension because it's not a lot of money anyway. You'll have your investments, your crypto. Like some people don't see it as a thing. It's like nothing anyway. So people would not want to invest in it, if that makes sense. So, yeah.
Yeah, nah, all I know, we're a bit off topic, but all I know is that when I'm older, you need to have money because the state pension is like £2.50 or something. It's mad. Like, it's not £2.50,
She's
but I'm exaggerating.
No, I don't know anything about all of these things.
It's a measly amount of money. They just want you to die, basically. Like,
yeah, it's not that much. But the good thing is they don't pay NI when they get to a certain age. So if you keep working, you don't pay NI, you get your state pension and you get your private pension all at the same time.
That's a bit lit, especially with NI going up from April.
I know. Why?
Did they explain why?
they have no money. Our government is broke. That's
Yeah,
it.
They shouldn't be.
And it's
Why?
for services, isn't it? Services that we don't get. The same, the people that want to kill us in the NHS. We love you, but some of you are mad.
Like, it just doesn't make sense how much money they're taking from people.
Every angle is just increase in fuel prices, in food, in not electricity, gas, like everything.
Just on that pay rise thing. The other thing is, if you can't negotiate your salary with your current employer, just leave. Go somewhere else where you get more money.
True.
I mean, that should be the end of the.
Also,
That's easier as well.
it is.
You don't know them.
We had people who recently, because I still keep my ears to the work streets even though I'm on maternity, but recently we've had it is. We've had people who have come to our company because we offer permanent remote from home. Mm-hmm. So even though they're at another company where they might be paid more, they've actually done the reverse of, well, happy to take a bit of a pay cut because I'm not going into the office. I'm not buying a train ticket and stuff. So even that, like the sort of job you look at.
I think people just need to think more, basically, because that's another good point, actually. If you are spending £300 a month on travel, but then your job is now saying work from home, that's a saving. So, yeah, definitely.
Quickly, before we move on, did you guys see the P&O thing?
Yeah, I saw it.
A little bit.
What do you think, Foye?
I think it's mad. They're moving.
Explain what happened actually for the people that didn't.
Okay, so from my understanding, P&O Ferry Cruise basically let go, I think it's 800 employees. Again, from my understanding, apparently the boss or whoever was at the top, CEO, pre-recorded a video and basically said, I'm sorry, but I'm going to have to let you go. And there was no consultation. There was no prior warning. It was just that's it sort of situation. So it's just a bit mad. Like,
I think it's mad
imagine losing your
because
job
there's
that
so many
way.
rules around if you're making redundancies, especially if it's like whether more than 30 people, whether more than 20 people or whatever, you have to do more than 20, you have to do collective consultation, which is supposed to last like a certain number of days minimum. And then you just wanted to fire everybody. I think he learned it from that other guy in the US who did it over Zoom.
Oh yes,
Yeah, but that was a flop.
I know.
That wasn't that was a fail.
I know, but they're all learning from each other, innit? And the guy didn't die, so he probably thought he didn't die. In the US, they have their employment laws on the floor anyway. You can do anything to them.
It's true.
But here, they're just gonna get sued, surely.
Listen, if I was a lawyer, I'd be finding all those P&O people on LinkedIn and say, would you like me to take your case?
It's true.
I would do it now, even as not a lawyer.
No, it's true. I saw people protesting. I was thinking, why are you protesting? Like you have
Just
some
go to a
rights.
lawyer.
Like, yeah.
It's so crazy. And I heard they've got a union, so I'm pretty sure their union's going to be on it as well.
Oh man, whenever I hear unions, it literally like strikes fear into me. Not because I'm scared of them, really, but it's because it's just long, all the extra admin around like being in a union and stuff, and you feel like, what's the point? But it's stuff like this where your union will help you, you know.
Yeah. I think the trick to working with unions is it's just building that relationship, because I've worked in a unionized company, and the trick was involve them in everything, any policy change, any whatever change you want to make in a business, bring them on board. And it was so smooth. The only time they gave me aggro was when they were defending people in disciplinaries. And they would come in with like their pre-scripted things and tell the employee, don't say nothing, just read the script. Like, this isn't court, you know. It's not court.
I actually like
no
the
comment.
ideal of unions. Like, I feel like they have a good purpose, especially like in areas where a lot of people don't know their own law for themselves. Like, for instance, nurses, like, obviously that they're unionized, and I think it's good for them because you're working in high risk environments, and a lot of time you don't know your own rights, and so it's good to have people that can advocate for you. Sometimes it's just long. When I speak about them, it's more in a disciplinary context where they're in there and they're like, their job is to defend the person. So sometimes I feel like even the union representative knows that, listen, they did the wrong thing, but they have to they have to basically minimize it. That's their job to minimize it.
They are good at negotiating.
That's their whole job. They better be.
They're good at negotiating.
I'd love to see what the P&O Ferry unions are cooking up.
Stay tuned.
Exactly.
We'll update you. So I guess the next part is couple dilemmas.
Yeah, I've got one actually. I had someone ask me. I won't read it out, but basically, she was in. It's like, I say it's pretty basic, but it's interesting. So she's been out of work for like 6 months. Okay. She decided in 2020 that she wanted to move into HR. She did her CIPD level 3, and she got she's in process for a couple of opportunities. Well, one opportunity mainly, and she just secured the offer. The job that she's interviewing for is at 26 to 28k, junior HR person. She's got like 3 months experience in a HR role. The role that she just secured was 22k. The one that she's interviewing for at like 26 to 28 is like in a really nice company, like where she could see progression for herself. And like lots of the people in the HR and the talent team have been there for a while. It'll be a good generalist role, give her a good thing, but she's only just passed the first stage. She's got second interview in like a week, and she needs to make a decision now. So this 22k one is at a nursery, and so for me, a nursery is not gonna, in my opinion, not gonna give you the same breadth. You're probably not gonna grow as much. It's a smaller team. So she's basically like, I have been out of work for 6 months. I want a job. She's mature, so she's making a career change. So it's not like she's someone that lives at home with her mum and is like doing her first job sort of thing. She's done other things in the past. She's basically like, do I take this 22k job now, knowing that it's probably not as much as I could get, or do I risk it and go for this 26 to 28k job? I might not get that one. Or like, what's the best way to go about it?
I'm going to give her advice that isn't necessarily HR
I know what you're gonna
advice.
say.
This is just looking out for me advice. I would take it, do the 26k, and if you get it, leave. That's what I would do. So I would take the offer. It's so bad, but it's just, if you're looking out for number one in it, that's what I would do.
So you're saying accept the job, go to the interview, and if you get that interview, say,
I'm sorry.
That's what I would do.
I mean, I would do the same thing.
Yeah.
There's advantages and disadvantages, obviously. Karma's a bitch. So that kind of stuff, like...
I mean, I took a job and left 3 weeks later when I got my current job, so...
And turned out well
I'm
for
fine,
you.
yeah. We're almost 4 years in.
Loving your career. Engaged, baby on the way.
Exactly, so, you know...
Yeah, I think I would probably end up doing that as well. Some people find it really difficult because when it comes to leaving, like, they feel really bad. And also, I think it depends.
Yeah.
And with this particular opportunity, I would do the same because it's a nursery. But in some, like in some,
Got against nursery.
I'm sorry, you won't grow as much as you would in a big company. And the other one is like a kind of sort of like media tech company.
Yeah.
You won't grow as much, and also it's unlikely that is going to affect your reputation in any way. I think at a more senior level, that could be seen to be bad. And in industries where it's a bit more incestuous, you could get a reputation for not being
that's true.
reliable.
That's very
And
true.
you might need to come back to this company. So if you're in, for her, I think it's fine. But if you're in an industry where there's like 2 or 3 major players, or you know,
like
some
insurance.
jobs, they're just really. I used to work in employment tax. And that's so incestuous. Like people just move from Deloitte, PwC, KPMG, EY.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
So things like that.
if you make a bad reputation for yourself, it can stick.
That's true.
But something like this, I think it's fine. That's the only caveat. Like for her, I should say go for it. Just accept the role. And then, you know, can't if you get another one. But for other people, it can be dangerous. The other thing, which is a bit harder to do, is a bit less risk, and you won't worry about the reputational thing, is just ask for more time. So with the nursery, say, when do I need to make a decision by? And then you speak to the people and say, I've got an offer. Is there any way to expedite this? If they're interviewing multiple candidates, it might not be. But if there's 2 of you at the offer stage, at the final stage, they might be able to do something about it, like bring yours forward. This is the last one. So that's also something you can do, which is lower risk, because
But I feel that only works when you're
the preferred candidate.
Yeah, and also salary. I'm not trying, like, I feel like if it's a lower salary, the easier the role is to fill.
That's true.
On paper. The higher the salary, the more people actually wait for you.
Yeah, it's
Companies
true.
will say it's cool.
3-month notice period when you're at a certain level is like,
That's
it is
true.
what it is.
Exactly.
If you're 3 months notice period as a HR assistant,
Why are you there?
yeah, I've seen it though.
Really?
I've seen like
That's
people on 30k on 3 month notice periods, and I know
Is that industry based though, as
it's
opposed
not.
to it
It's
being
standalones. They like to say, "Oh, you're standalone 3 months," but actually, I'm sorry, you're still paying them 30k.
Yeah, that's not fair.
It's not fair. But you see it a lot of the time. And when they got the job, they were so happy because now they're on 30 and before they were on 24 or something.
Yeah.
They're so happy they just signed everything. You know, people don't read their contracts. So read your contracts, people.
Your notice?
No,
Neither have I.
I've never cared to,
Me either.
because I know that if it comes to it, a notice period, unless you want a longer notice period, which in COVID times people were happy about when they had them.
Okay, yeah, fair.
But if you want a shorter notice period, it's irrelevant, because when you hand in your notice, depending on what kind of person you want to be, you can decide what happens.
That's true.
Like if you have a 3 month notice period,
Karma, Lola.
your if you have a 3 month notice period, your employer will make you stay if they think that you're going to work properly. If they think you're going to be more of a hindrance.
True.
And also, I've worked in businesses where I've had a lot of goodwill, so I could be like, let me go early.
Can I leave early? That's what I'm doing now at the moment.
Yeah, exactly. If you've got the goodwill, they'll let you go. And also, if you're terrible, they'll also let you go early.
That's
because
It's true.
they'd rather just not pay you to do nothing.
Yeah.
So I'm never concerned about that, because
Either.
you can do it either way. Sometimes they'll just tell you to work your notice period, and then you start working the flexible hours that you like.
It's true.
I actually spoke to her about it before, and I gave her those 2 options about trying to see if you can get a little bit longer to make the decision, and also just taking taking the
job. Yeah, that's what I would do.
Especially at that level and in this particular sort of situation.
Well, I knew I was never going to work in the public sector again. I didn't give a heck. I walked into the head teacher's office and I was like, look, listen. I told her the name of the company. I was like, do you understand? Like, I can't say it. I was like, I have to go. And they treated me like crap as soon as they found out that
I find companies that do that. It's okay.
They like messed up my last pay. I was at the school gates 7 a.m. during the summer holiday saying, who's going to help me sort this out? Because I was just like, why would you do this? You know,
so paid.
I'd only been here like 3-4 weeks and you're already messing with me. Like, I hadn't even done much. It's not like you should have valued me that much. Like, it was horrible. Yeah.
Did you find the move from out of public difficult? Or?
So because when that was a HR manager role and I didn't know what I was doing, if I was honest, because if I knew what I know now, I never would have applied for a job in the public sector. No offense to anyone who's in the public sector, but I never would have
disrespectfully.
I never would have done it. So it was really easy because they looked at my CV and thought, oh, she's done FMCG. And because I was there only 3-4 weeks, it didn't really impact me going forward. But I just know the public sector is not for me.
We have to talk about it on a one of these episodes. Yeah, because
but listen at your own risk. Because
some people love it, but you know, some people they like the public sector till they die, and once you're in the public sector, you can pretty much like work your way up pretty quickly. You can go from NHS to local authority to governmental agency.
Your pension will be very good.
Your pension will be
sweet pension.
I spoke to a lady from for a role that I was recruiting, HR role, a change manager, HR change manager. She's from she worked at some, I won't say which one, but some police authorities. So let's say like Met Police or Essex Police or something like that. And I put what I don't like. People always say put the pay on the job advert. I put the pay on the job advert. It was 60 to 65. Yeah, clear as day. She called me. She was like, well, when I did the screening call, I called. I wasn't sure about her profile, but I thought I'll speak to her. She was like, well, I'm currently on 65 and I'm looking for an uplift. Okay, so why are you
the salary
responding to this? Like, it clearly says it. Do you know what I mean? People are begging for transparency. We're giving you transparency, now you're wasting my time. Like, and no, but she was saying, oh, and also because of my pension, I'm on a final salary pension, and so in order for me to really move.
Salary pension?
Oh, okay. A final salary. Okay, so most of us paupers, when we pay into our pension, is a defined contribution. So what we get at the end is based on what we put in. So every month you pay, I don't know, maybe you pay 5%. Your employer pays 6%. You get 11%. I was worried I was going to mess up that maths, but you get 11% into your pension each month. When you retire, you know, the pension fund would have done some, you know, for the thing. So maybe rather than 11%, you manage to get 12%. But with whatever you put in and then the growth in that investment, that's what you'll be able to use. So if you haven't paid into your pension, you ain't getting nothing. Do you know what I mean? If you just started paying in the last couple of years or something, that's what you'll get. Yeah. Whereas final salary pension is not based on what you put in, it's based on your salary when you leave. Yeah, or your salary when you retire or whatever. So it's like a multiple. So if you and how many years you've been there. So let's say you've been there for 20 years and you're on 70k by the time you leave, you're laughing because they're gonna times whatever the multiple by 20, then cut your salary or whatever. Basically, you end up with a lot more money than if it was to do with what you were actually paying in. So even if you've been paying in very little, it makes no difference. You just everyone else. So that's what we're doing. We're all funding the final salary pensions of people that came before us. And I told you already, if I ever get a job with a final salary pension, I will never leave. Listen, if you're gonna hire me and you know there's a final salary pension, just know I'll never leave. 30 years time, I'll be there. With minimal work, just accruing my final salary. But yeah, so she was like, "Oh, I'm on a final salary pension, so ideally I want 80 to 85k." I just said, to be honest, this job is not going to get you there. So if I see anything else, then I'll let you know. So I can't let her know now because she's obviously a moron. I can't put her in front of my clients. She didn't. So
but you did say if you don't ask, you don't get.
No, there's context. There's context. Everything in life has context. That's just stupid.
Yeah.
You're looking for 20. If it's 5,
It's a big jump.
If you're looking for 70, I could be like, maybe there's some flex if you're an exceptional candidate. But I've given you the budget, so
yeah, it's a big jump.
What you want.
So I think the last part is our HR spotlight section, which is basically where we shine a light on a particular part of the HR department. And today we are focusing on ER, which is employee relations. So, and for those who don't know, employee relations, how do you even explain employee relations?
Let's give it to our resident employee relations
expert.
We don't really speak about what we do, but we all I'm a generalist. It means I work across like the full HR spectrum.
I'm usually a generalist, I'm a generalist too, but at the moment I'm working as a business partner, so I'm pretty much like projects focused at the moment, but yeah, generalist.
And I specialize in employee relations. The fun side of HR.
Yeah.
Employee relations. Do you know what? I think the easiest way for me to explain it is employee relations is essentially a part of a HR business partner role, but depending on the size of the company, they tend to separate the two so that employee relations stands on its own and deals with all the negative stuff that the HRBP no longer has to deal with. So ER will, do the disciplinaries, the terminations, the personal conflicts, the separations, the redundancies, anything that doesn't make an employee smile is what employee relations will deal with.
I find the term separation so American.
Do you, I work for an American company.
You talk about when we talk about the employee life cycle, we talk about onboarding, offboarding, or whatever.
Yeah. And when they exit,
when they talk about separate, I don't know. It's like I don't know. I just find Americans always say, "Oh yeah, the separation from the company," like it's a divorce or something.
Are you saying I gave you the ick?
No. But that gives me. If we had a HR ick, that's one of mine. Yeah. Anyway,
so anything that doesn't make an employee smile is what employee relations will deal with. So yeah, it's usually when an employee has hit some form of trouble in their employee life cycle, and yeah, employee relations will manage whatever process that is from beginning to end. People often think that employee relations is there to kind of be like a counselor, or no, we are there to
therapy session,
get the result of whatever the business / manager wants. It's just, and I think we've spoken about it before, depending on the type of company you work for, so in terms of culture, value, that will determine how employee relations will deal with certain things. So if a manager says, I really want this person gone, they're not performing well, we're reaching the end of their probation and I don't want them there anymore. If you work for a company where the values and the culture is move really quickly, need results, financial results, only, people at the top that give results are the favorites, then the way that employee relations will deal with an employee who's not performing it might be quite cutthroat. Well, they didn't pass probation. They don't have any rights anyway, really, because they've been here under 2 years. So let's just do this really operationally and get them out. Whereas if you work for a company that says, we really care about our people, we want our people to do well, and we care, they might deal with somebody who's not passing probation in a different way, that even though, you don't have, you haven't been here a long time, we're still going to pay you your notice and we're still going to give you, I work in tech, so it's really hard for me to say general things, but we might give you some of your stock options as well, even though we don't have to. And we are, or we might extend your notice. So even though, it looks like you've been, you would have worked here, 5 months, but they have a 3 months notice period. We'll leave you on the books as gardening. So it looks like you've got 8 months. You've been here 8 months,
Or you could even give them longer notice. So if you only have to give them 4 weeks, you might say we'll give you 6.
Yeah, we'll give you more time to find a job.
Yeah.
It literally depends on the company. So that's how I would describe employee
What do you like
relations.
about it? Why'd you do it? Because obviously it can seem on the surface to be quite negative, but You love a bit of ER.
So when I was junior in my career, I liked it because it was gossip and it was tea.
Yeah.
And it was just juicy.
You get to find out about everything that's going on.
No, you see that director that's been here a long time, you see them storming out to CEO's office and you're like, ah. And then you find out what it is and you're like, oh, okay, that's where my interest came from. It's not good.
No, what's the juiciest case you've worked on?
There must be lots.
There's loads. I've worked somewhere where a manager was sleeping with one of the interns and he had a wife.
Was he old?
No, like he was young, but he still wasn't intern young. And it was just because we were just like, oh, like, is he going to tell his wife? Because we got rid of him. So
they never do.
We had like, it wasn't when I was working in HR, but there was a situation where there's a couple of situations somewhere I used to work. One of the directors was sleeping with his secretary, one of the team secretaries. Then he left his wife and then married the team secretary, and now they have like kids in there. Like, yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. And he was a director. And then there was another one when one of the senior managers, a woman, she was sleeping in a relationship, not just sleeping with, in a relationship with one of the school leavers. So they're like, you know, the people who joined not as grads, but they joined as like, yeah. So it's just he must have been like 19 or something.
Wow,
she must have been like mid-30s. It was proper.
I mean, they say
that's a whole nother.
Yeah, I mean, the percentage of meeting a partner at work.
It's not. And she didn't manage him. She didn't manage him. So in theory, it's not a conflict of interest.
Yeah, but she's
it's just because it's the workplace.
30. So she was like 35 or 36 or something.
But guys, if she was a man, if it was gender reversed or the other way around, we would be like,
no, I don't
looking at that very sideways.
I don't condone it, but I'm saying like if she managed him directly from a HR perspective, it would have been more problematic. What she's doing is just generally problematic, but not HR problematic.
It's just wild to see in the workplace.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, what I like about ER is the fact that employees are going through something quite difficult, but they have
like that.
No, let me land. But then they have somebody like me who will help them through that process to help them keep, you know, their dignity, and I'll do it with integrity and help them, you know, show them that, you know, okay, this is a really, really hard, difficult thing that you're going through.
Yeah.
But I'm not happy that you're going through it, but we need to get through it. So I'm going to help you do that. And it's nice, like, well, because it doesn't happen often because people just don't like what they're going through, but it's nice when someone says thank you. I know this isn't easy for me, but you made it bearable, because that's literally what I'm.
You get it the other way.
What do you mean?
Do you ever get anyone like lashing out at you as the representative?
Oh, all the time. How do you
deal with it?
I don't care. It doesn't bother me. Like I'll be in rooms and people will be like going off on me, and I'll just be okay. So what would you like me to do about that?
You know what? Yeah, I'm not good. Remember, like I had one recently that I shared with you. What did the person say? My response.
Oh, about you petty.
Was it?
Oh,
petty and classless.
Classless.
Petty and classless. I couldn't believe it. She said I was like, she was really talking about the company, but I was relaying a company policy, and she said that it was petty and classless.
Yeah,
couldn't believe it.
The cheek.
Yeah.
The cheek.
But that's part of employee relations, is that employees, the human behavior that some people show, you just don't know what you're going to get, or how people, you think you know, but you genuinely, I've had people cry, scream, close laptops, walk out the room.
Close laptop is my favorite.
Yeah, like literally close laptop of me. I've had people just say, oh, I can't take a meeting here because my wife might overhear or my husband might overhear, so you need to call me when I'm walking to the shop. Like I've had such random things, and you just don't know. Or you have people lying to you and you think they're telling the truth and they're not. Like I've had, it was a couple, well, they weren't a couple, they were employees on the same team. The man was in love with the woman. She had a boyfriend, but the other one was like basically obsessed with her. And the woman employee was saying, you know, basically, why are you so obsessed with me?
Yeah.
And then I found out they were actually doing a thing. And I was like, girl, like, why did you lie to me?
Yeah.
Tell me the truth, because you're skewing like how I have to navigate this whole situation. So yeah, you just don't know. It's unpredictable, which is why
Would you recommend ER to people who like to generalists wanting to specialize, or what kind of person would be good in ER?
someone who is okay being reactive, someone who doesn't necessarily feel like they always have to be strategic. When you're a HRBP, you have to work strategically. When you're an ER, if you have time, you can work strategically. But most of the time, you're being very, very reactive. So somebody who likes that, someone who feels okay working in an unpredictable environment, somebody who can desensitize and, you know,
compartmentalize.
And just take themselves out of the situation and not take things personally. And someone who just enjoys like human behavior. I always say it.
And likes gossip.
That's
what
like
keeps you going, isn't it?
That is what keeps me going. I mean, what else can I get out of it? But yeah, if you like human behavior, you know, there's psychology, but let's say you don't want to go down the complete psychology route. ER is actually a good one.
HR in general, actually.
That's true.
There's a lot of people with psychology background. Because
like
occupational psychology, a lot of us over.
I haven't done it since A level, but
what, psychology? Same. But I did enjoy it.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
But it got too much science involved. I was like, I can't.
It was the statistics for me.
I've never done it, but I just like true crime. So that's where I get my psychology, thinking about the brains of murderers and serial killers and cult leaders. And people that follow cult leaders, they're mad ones. We're inclusive, and some of our listeners may be members. I think that's a good time to wrap this up.
Okay. Well, thank you for listening to our first episode. Please feel free to give us some feedback. We hope you enjoyed it, and
follow us on everything.
Yes, we are on Instagram at Everybody Hates HR Pod. We also have a email address so that you can send your dilemmas in, which is dilemmas@everybodyhateshhr.co.uk.
Are you sure?
Is it pod? I don't think pod is in the email address.
Sorry guys, it's new, so bear with me.
I feel like
can you tell we gave Foye all the work?
Yeah, so
it is dilemmas@everybodyhateshhrpod.co.uk.
Oh, is it? Oh, so you're right. So anyway, we'll talk about it next time. But Foye is she's our data.
I'm trying.
Our podcast data expert.
I'm trying.
So follow us. And then this will be on YouTube stuff. But if you go to the Instagram, you can find us link there, so we don't have to do too much navigating.
Yes, and we'll see you next week.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Bye.